You have people in your life who are occupying your time for their self-benefit. You should erase them from your life. Somebody sent me a plaque one day that said, don't worry about the people that God has removed from your life. He saw things you didn't see. He heard conversations you couldn't hear, and he made moves you wouldn't make. Maybe it was time for you to move on.
To be covered by God and walk in the area of your destiny, you can't be limited to just working with people who look like you. It is not the colors you need to watch. It is the character. There are three basic types of people that you will interact with if you are a child of destiny. The first group are confidants. You will have very few of them. Confidants are those people in your life who love you unconditionally. They are into you, whether you're up or down, right or wrong. Having a good confidant is the key that unlocks the kingdom. The problem with most people is that everybody they run around with is under them. And so you are forever feeding people who can't feed you. And after years of feeding them, they begin to drain you. Am I talking to anybody in here? If you have 2 or 3 of them in a lifetime, you are a blessed person. You need to find your confidant. Number 2 are your constituents. They are not into you. They are into what you are for. And as long as you are for what they are for, they will walk with you and labor with you, but never think that they are for you. And you have to know that, because if they meet somebody else that will further their agenda, they will leave you and hook up with them. They are your constituents. And throughout your life, if you're not careful, you will mistake your constituents for your confidants. And by the time you get through falling in love with them, they will break your heart as they hook up with somebody else who is for what you are for. They are for what you are for, but they are not for you. The third group are your comrades. These people are not for you, nor are they for what you are for. It is just that they are against what you are against. And they will team up with you to help fight a greater enemy. They will only be with you until the victory is accomplished. They come into your life to fulfill a purpose. And when the purpose is complete, the scaffolding is removed. What I'm saying to you, my brothers and sisters, expect the constituents and the comrades to leave you and desert you after a while. Be careful then who you tell your dream to. They will desert you and try to fulfill the dream without you. If you find a few people in your entire life with whom you can share your dream with, you are a blessed somebody. If they are really for you, they will weep with you when you weep, and they will rejoice when you rejoice. If they're not happy for you, shut your mouth and walk back out of the door. Oh yeah, because when they are really connected to you, they will be happy for you when you share your dream. You need somebody who's really gonna be happy for you. I don't want none of them haters praying for me, because you know you hate me and you don't want me to succeed. And ain't no need in you coming up here in this hospital like you gonna pray some cancer up. I'd rather have somebody who really loves me. God is so faithful. He'll always give you somebody. Don't worry about the people he took. You ought to praise him for the people he sent.
If you're going to reach your destiny, you have to learn to kiss things goodbye. People may walk away. Life may not turn out the way you thought. Kiss the bitterness goodbye. Kiss the person that walked away goodbye. God wouldn't have allowed it to happen if he didn't have something better in front of you. There are people and opportunities that were ordained for your past that are not ordained for your future. The key is how you handle the disappointments, how you handle the person that did you wrong. God knows how to give you beauty for ashes. He knows how to turn mourning into dancing. Are you at peace with your past? Or are you bitter over the loss? Holding a grudge because somebody walked away? Don't bring bitterness into a new year. That was in your past. It doesn't belong in your future. You won't have the strength to move forward if you're weeping over what's behind. That person that walked away, if they left you, you didn't need them. God's ways are not our ways. Will you trust Him when it doesn't make sense? You spend enough time on the past. That doesn't take you anywhere. Kiss the disappointment goodbye. It was either not the right time or He has something better. We get excited about new beginnings, but we don't hear a lot about the end. But just as God opens doors, sometimes He'll close doors. He'll bring things to an end. It can seem like a setback. The best thing you could do is kiss it goodbye. If one dream dies, get back up and dream another dream. When life doesn't turn out the way you thought, remind yourself God is still in control. Kiss it goodbye. Quit reliving the mistakes that you've made. Wondering why it didn't work out? You gave it your all, but it didn't succeed. Accept it as God's plan and move on. God, I trust you not just with my successes. I trust you with the betrayals. I trust you with the things that don't make sense. Even though I don't like it, even though I kind of feel betrayed, I'm at peace. God is asking us, how long are you going to mourn over what hasn't worked out? How long are you going to be discouraged over who hurt you? I don't believe in giving people the right to feel sorry for themselves. Not because they don't have a good reason. But I've learned if you stay in self-pity, thinking you have a reason to live defeated, you will never see the vindication, the favor that belongs to you. God wants to pay you back for what was unfair. Kiss the unfair childhood goodbye. Kiss that injustice goodbye. One relationship may not have worked out. If you'll kiss the old goodbye, God will show you the new one. You don't have to settle for second best because things haven't turned out the way you thought. He knew the people that would walk away. He knew the time and energy you'd spend, and the dream didn't come to pass. Now don't get stuck bitter over a loss, discouraged because something didn't work out. Move forward. You'll come into more than you can ask or think. Are you upset over a door God closed? Somebody He took out of your life? A dream that hasn't come to pass yet? Maybe you didn't have a good childhood. God knew how you would be raised. That's not going to keep you from your destiny. It's leading you to your destiny. If you will move forward, God will open doors you couldn't open. Why don't you kiss the self-pity goodbye? Kiss that condescending spirit goodbye. Don't take a bad attitude into a new year. And some people can wear designer clothes. They can have nice hair. They look great on the outside. The problem is none of that can cover up what's on the inside. And sometimes we're waiting for God to change things. God is waiting for us to make a decision. You've always been angry, always been hot-tempered. That was the way I was raised, but that's not who I am. I'm putting an end to what's been passed down. You may have been in my 2018, but I have bad news. You're not in my 2019. I'm kissing you goodbye. I won't be seeing you this year. We are parting ways. I hate to say it, I'm not going to miss you. Maybe you need to kiss how you see yourself goodbye. Not attractive, not talented, not a good personality. Kiss that wrong self-image goodbye. Promotion, health, freedom, it starts in our mind. Start embracing who God says you are. You are a masterpiece. Not another person in this world has your same fingerprints. You are one of a kind, an original, made in the image of God. Quit letting people hurt your feelings. Quit letting what they say ruin your day. They have the right to say what they want, but you have the right to ignore it. they may never stop talking about you. You know why? They are jealous of the favor and the blessing on your life. They don't talk about average people. They talk about exceptional people. They talk about people that are taking new ground, people that stand out. Are you going to get upset? Start thinking about how you can pay them back? Or are you going to kiss it goodbye and enjoy in your life?
If people are not listening to you, stop talking to them. That is the best piece of advice that I can give you. And what happens is that if you stop talking to people who aren't listening to you and start watching them instead, they will tell you what they're up to. But so if you have things to say them. But you find people that will listen, talk to them. The ones who aren't listening, pull back. Because you're devaluing what you have to say by offering it to an audience that does nothing but reject it.
And you spend a lot of time going around trying to convince other people or trying to get their approval. What will happen is that you will lose your nerve. And other people will convince you that what you're doing doesn't have any value. There are certain things that we just go through life just taking, and at some point, you just got to draw the line and just say enough is enough. You got to do that with yourself. You just got to draw. There's certain things that you just don't permit. If you got negative people in your life, just one. So look here. I was talking to someone I love very much, had a just dynamic relationship with us. Look here. I can't grow from that. If you're persistent in saying those kind of things to me, I'm saying to you right now, I won't tolerate that. And I will terminate this because I'm not going to expose myself to this type of humiliation. I don't like that. I don't like getting called names, putting each other down. I don't like that. Come back, tell me I'm sorry. No, that won't get it. So you put a nail in a hole, you make that impression, you pull a nail out that. Mark is still there. That's not for God. We can't subtract that from the record. So don't say that to me. So we were talking about something else. Person said it again. Boom. You're a loser. Very good. And you are too, because you just lost a very good friend. I don't choose to be around you anymore. And that was it. I said, that's cold. Maybe it is. But I get people out of my life that aren't good for me. One negative stroke is 16 times more powerful than a positive stroke. And if you have people around you who are not sensitive to who you are, and the people that can hurt you the most, ladies and gentlemen, are the people that you love. That you love. They're the ones that you're vulnerable to. They're the ones that can get to you. And if they're insensitive, I don't care who they are. See, if you don't draw the line with people, if you just let them run rampant in your life, and you let things happen to you that you don't feel good about, if you continue to allow it to happen, you won't feel good about yourself. Your image of yourself will erode. So you've got to draw the line. That old White said something. To go against the dominant thinking of your family, friends, and those people you associate with every day is perhaps the most difficult act of courage you will ever perform. See, when you start growing, when you start changing, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you act, the way you respond to things, the way you use your time, when you start saying, no, I can't do that. Why? You're too busy. You don't have the time. No, I have my own agenda.
You also have to be strong enough to say no. Remember, you teach people how to treat you, and they will walk all over you if you let them. So when you love yourself enough to say no, when they ask you to do certain things that are not in your character, you quickly will say no. I'm not doing that. Because I know if I allow myself to go there, I'm going to be the one that's hurt. I'm going to be the one that's broken. I'm going to be the one that's battered and bruised. So absolutely not. And I've said this many times before. Some of you guys are weak and you're quick to say yes. Love yourself enough to say no.
You got to have a good, strong, solid no muscle that you can stand in, and you got to have a yes muscle. You got to say no to the things that don't honor you. No to things that don't bring you joy. No to the things that don't bring you peace. And you don't have to explain your no. You got to have 101 different ways to say no. You matter. And your no matters. And don't back up on your no. Don't draw your line in the sand, and when somebody crosses it, you back up and draw another line. No, stand on your line. Stand for your no.
So if people can put you on a guilt trip, they will. And use you and abuse you over and over and over again. You got to draw the line. You have to draw the line on them.
I think it's really important in any relationship that you ask yourself this question: what is my cost for being in this relationship? Because there's a cost. In every relationship you're in, there's a cost. And you have to ask yourself, what is the cost of being in there? If the cost is you have to lose yourself, you can't be who you are, do what you do, you can't be the person you are because you must conform to them in order to coexist peacefully, the cost is you. If the cost is you have to work at it, that's okay. The cost is you have to make some sacrifices, that's okay. But ask yourself in every relationship you're in, what's the cost for being in this relationship? And you'll see real quick whether it's worth the price or whether it's not.
Basically what you're saying is, if you got haters around you, in your family or not, you got to get them out of your way.
Have you ever taken an idea to a person, or no matter what you take to them, it's not a good idea?
Right.
It's just something wrong. You know, when I share an idea with you, and you don't show me how to make that idea work, all your conversation is why it won't work, yeah. I immediately end that conversation. I'm not interested in why it won't work. That's going to arise on the journey. I just need to know, can you feel what I'm saying? Are you on board with it? Do you have a suggestion how to make it work? The moment I hear, well, I don't think that'll work. Okay, cool, thank you. And I'm gone.
You know, one of the things that Maya Angelou used to always say to me, and I love this, I actually said it at her memorial service. She used to say to me, because in the beginning it used to bother me so much when people would talk about the haters. And she used to say to me, baby, those people can't hold a candle to the light that God already has shining on your face. Yeah. Can't you see the light that God has shining on your face? And so I learned to focus on the light that God has shining on my face and not worry about the people who are trying to put up a candle and burn it.
Don't go through life feeling like you're powerless. Victims are people that are powerless. You're not powerless. You are powerful. You direct the power in your life. Whatever your life is right now, it is a duplication of your consciousness. It's a result of how you have decided to use your power. That's all it is. That's not who you are. That's just a perverted use of your power that you aren't satisfied with. And you've got the power to change that. Wherever you are, how, I don't know. But I know you've got the power to do that. But you don't know what has happened to me. It really doesn't matter what has happened to you. See, the only thing that really matters is, what are you going to do about it? That's all that matters. That's all that matters. You can allow it to destroy you, or you can allow it to build you up.